Hey, I'm Sam Portland. Welcome back to another video. You've got speed questions and I've got your answers. And the question that's come in today is, how many times per week should I be training speed? So what I've done for you is broken down 3 typical scenarios that I face with a lot of my athletes that I've trained and do train, and I'm going to break it down for you really simply. Now, there's a couple of golden rules before you think about planning your training session. Speed is a really high motor unit training session, so it's very high intensity, and what it will do is tax the body in different ways. If you're just starting speed or you've not really done much speed training before, you're going to want to train like the way that you do gym work. So you may think about doing an upper and lower split, chest Monday, legs Tuesday, back Wednesday, etc, and you can't do that with speed because it requires so much more rest, but it also requires so much more intent and effort and intensity in order to get the best out of it. The other thing is understanding that speed is a quality that takes a lot more time to develop. So the way in which that you will see your weights go up on your bench press or your squat is not necessarily going to be exactly the same way as you see your speed times improve, and also the way in which you feel within your speed sessions. You will probably feel a lot more relaxed and less tired than you would normally do in your sessions because of the way that you are training is very different. But that being said, actually working in those mid-ranges of heart rates that you would typically describe working at is not really beneficial for developing speed in the way that we want to. So those are the simple golden rules, but the biggest rule in the recovery modalities is understanding that typically between intensive speed sessions you need about 72 hours. So it's a good 3 days recovery between. And if you're a team sport athlete and you've not really done much speed before, you're thinking, wow, can I only train every 3 days? Not quite. And I'm going to show you exactly how you do it, because it's about how you blend things through. So our typical scenario here is, let's look up and think of an off-season protocol. So we've got Monday to Sunday, just a typical Monday to Sunday week. And right here, day 1, we're going to focus on linear speed, straight line speed, running as fast as we can, developing the ways in which we run as fast as we can. Because if we're starting there when we're fresh and most recovered, that's going to be the best place because it cascades everything across the week. So we do our linear session. And if you want to know how I structure my sessions, make sure you stay tuned to the next video, because I'm going to do a breakdown on how I plan my speed sessions. Then we're going to move into weights on day 2, Tuesday. So it's going to be typically more full body weights when we're training for speed, because it sits lower down. And the way that we can do this is by chunking our days. Now, most people don't have the luxury of just training all day like professional athletes, where what you would do as a professional is you would do your linear speed and then your weights straight after on that day. You would have a break and then do your gym session to consolidate it. So what we do instead is we take what a pro would do, and who would have a much higher training capacity than us, and we split it over 2 days. So we would do the first part of our workout on the Monday and the second part of our workout on the Tuesday. We've got no conflicted training signaling either, which is great, because you're going to be really tapped from doing your speed work and your jumps and your explosive throws and stuff on our Monday, which then all you have to do, go to sleep, wake up, and then hit some strength work and specific robustness work and work capacity and like hamstrings and bits and bobs. So you'll just be carrying a little bit of fatigue into day 2, but nothing that's going to stop you from improving your basic and base level strength. Then a well-earned rest. After that, because we're team sport athletes and we're trying to improve our speed, we come straight into our lateral session. Now, the reason why we don't put this at the beginning of the week is our linear session is really focused on running as fast as possible, but our lateral session is more mechanical and very change of direction basis, so it's not as intense Okay, it still requires a lot of effort, but it's not as intense, so we can put it in the back end of the week, but after the day off. Why? Because we still need to be recovered. And then typically, as I said before, the 72-hour rule, Monday to Thursday is the next time that we go on feet running, which is great. And then we do exactly the same the Friday, the day after. So we've chunked 2 days here, we've got our weights. Then our Saturday would be our speed conditioning and our run specific conditioning. This is where we focus on form and heart rate work and developing qualities that supply our linear. This also actually serves as a recovery tool, because throughout the week you've been carrying loads of fatigue. You're going to get your heart rate pumping on the weekend and get the body moving after a long warm-up. You'll recover the body and push all the toxins out of it and head into our rest, and then you can repeat that over and over again. That's scenario 1. Scenario 2 here is if you find that you don't actually have as much time. If you are working and you can only hit 3 or 4 sessions a week, you can get 60, 30 minutes and then 45 minutes on the Saturday or the hour on the Saturday. This is what we do. So we really prioritize the most important things. And if you want to run fast, you have to prioritize running fast to being the most important. So again, we always start the first session of the week is running fast as possible, because it's the most important quality, because everything comes underneath it. So we do linear, then we rest, then we hit the lateral. Okay, but you're going to say, Sam, you said 72 hours. You've completely changed your idea here. I haven't, because what you would do here is you would shape the intensity to allow the recovery. Okay, so on the first example, we could probably do a little bit more, okay, but on here we could do a little bit less, because we know that we've only got 48 hours to recover. But again, the lateral sessions don't tax the brain and the nervous system the way that the linear ones do, so it's okay. Then we hit the rest again. Then we get cheeky weights on the Friday, okay, and then our conditioning exactly the same on the Saturday. Super simple, okay. But then what about if you can only train 3 times a week? No problem, absolutely no problem. Because remember that we're training for speed, speed's the most important thing, and we measure speed improvement by speed improvement, not weight room improvement or jumping improvement. So we start the week linear, we hit Wednesday lateral, Saturday we hit our weights and conditioning, and that could just be a circuit, but also our running sessions as well. So these are the 3 possible scenarios of where if you could train 5 times a week, or if you could train 4 times a week, or if you can only train 3 times a week, in how many times you should train speed across the week. You must be effective with the time that you have, and doing so requires a really strong and robust strategy. So understanding the best methods, which I've done in a previous video, should tell you and will highlight the fact that the most appropriate method for speed training is the one that your body is ready to handle. So just because you can only train a couple times a week doesn't mean you need to go mental. It means you just need to follow the strategic path of how we improve and increase intensity and specificity over time. So I'm Sam Portland, you've got speed questions and I've got your answers. Make sure you like this video and stay tuned for the next video, where we're going to be myth busting and breaking apart speed like never before.